Hey, everybody. I'm going to be unavailable until after June 12th, as of right now. So I'm still going to do my Q&As, my weekly Q&As, but they're going to be like half the time, half the questions. So it'll be shorter. And that's pretty much, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to do, unless something happens where I feel like I need to get on like right now to do something. So a couple things came up recently. So that's just an alert that I'm not going to be available for a little bit. But there's something's, I got a bunch of comments from the last Great Awakening video I wanted to address. And so I think this is going to be its own, another Great Awakening episode, maybe a little bit shorter. Thank goodness, right? And we're just going to look into these things just a little bit deeper today. And I'm sure there are going to be even more questions. I mean, all these, I just want you guys to know all these questions that you're asking, I also have and or have had. So I totally get where you're coming from. Like, I'll just tell you, as we go. So I'm just stepping into this and feeling into it. With you guys. I just want you to know that there's no judgment, and I'm not, we're just exploring it together. We're all just exploring and pondering all of this, right? So, we really don't know what's going on. We're flying blind here, but we're, keeping an open mind, keeping an open heart, which is really all you can do, is just be flexible and just practice your intuitive abilities. So I'm doing that. You should be doing that. Everyone who does the type of work that I do, that's what we're doing. We're refining our skills and abilities right now. And so make sure that you're doing your own due diligence at home, and that you're checking your tarot cards, or you're, just talking to God or meditating, or whatever your thing is, talking to angels or Yeshua, or, yeah. So you could even, like, when I ask one of these questions, you could practice and just pause before I answer and come up with your own, what you think the answer will be, and then see what I say, because that might be really interesting. Okay. All right. So, okay. So someone was wanting me to expand on my dream. They're really on my dream about, I'll tell you the dream. I'll tell you the dream. There's not much to it, not much more to it. You know how you just remember bits and pieces when you wake up? It was like, I could tell that it was a profound message. And I've never, I don't know why it happened. I don't know why it came or anything, but it felt like a very important, and it felt like one of those moments where it was an epiphany of, oh, so that's how it happens. Like I was given an answer kind of thing. And I don't even remember even asking the question back when, but so I had dreamt that I was at a party, like it's not some kind of crazy raging party, but some kind of a little social gathering. And everybody was pretty chill. We were all hanging out in like a living room, listening to music. And I don't remember a lot about it, except that it was pleasant. And there were probably, I don't know, 20 to 30 people there. And there was typical tablecloth over like a kitchen table, and all these, dips and chips and all that kind of stuff on the table. And so I was just helping. I was a friend or somebody that was at the party, and I saw that they ran out of dip. So I thought I'd go do the nice thing and go get more out of the pantry and go put it in the bowl. So I go through the kitchen. You had to go through the kitchen to get to the pantry. And I walk into the pantry, and I remember looking, sorting through the different cans and things that were in there. And I saw the refried beans, or the whatever beans they were or whatever. I just saw them, and I was like, oh, this must be them. So I grabbed it. And the minute I grabbed the can, I was gone. And I was, I went like this and I looked and there was no can anymore. And I turned around to go back in the party and all that was around me was a meadow, a really, really beautiful, very majestic scene. I think it was iridescent. It just felt very, very alive, I would say. Just very, very, very alive. More alive than even things seem right now, if that makes any sense. It's kind of interesting. But it was so beautiful and so perfect that it was like breathtaking and fresh, really, really fresh. The air was like incredible. So, I mean, every time I recall it, there's something that I remember different about it or more details or whatever. But I just remember the first thought that I had was, oh, so this is the new earth. Maybe it was from me reading Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. So, I said, oh, this is the new earth. Interesting. And then I thought, I don't see any humans around. I guess I better go find some. So that was the full dream in its entirety. But those moments when it sticks with you and you're just like, I think like that, like I've always remembered it. Another moment like that in regards to what we're going through right now was when I had heard that everybody was running to the stores and wiping out the toilet paper and stuff. And I was like, I asked my higher self, like, what the hell is going on? And she said, her name is Celeste. And I was like, Celeste, what is going on? And she said, she just gave me one word and she kind of smiled. And then she says, rumors. I was like, that's all you're going to give me? Rumors? And at first it really kind of irritated me. Like, why don't you tell me like what's really going on? Like, tell me what's going on here. The more time has gone by, the more that has stood out to me over and over and over and over and over. And I see this and I see that and I hear this and I hear that. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, rumors, 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 like none of it's real. And that's why it really resonated too, the whole idea of like, it's just a movie because it's just, gossip and rumors. So anyway, true. So here are some follow-up questions to that, to the last Great Awakening, which was number 20. And whatever. Okay, so let me just ask questions. All right, the first question, you mentioned in your last Great Awakening, number 20, that we'll lose family and have our memories wiped clean, but I love my cats and kids. What happens to them? So I want to thoroughly feel this out. And like I said, I used to feel that way too. I felt that way until I was actually in the 5D. So all the different dimensions are happening simultaneously here. So when I was in the 5D, it's so hard to describe when you haven't been in it. And I know some of you who've been on hallucinogenic drugs, some of you guys have actually experienced little glimpses of this, I guess, but I was in it for months. I was in that state for months, and it was not really like being human, because it was like God had taken me over. It felt like a very, I just had love. I just was living love. I was basically just living love and walking around, and I wasn't even using my mind anymore. It was only intuition. It was only instinct. And I was so full of love that anyone I interacted with, they would have an emotional experience, like emotional reaction. And I would say things to them that I didn't plan on coming out of my mouth. I didn't think about it before I said it. It just came out, and it was exactly what they needed to hear. And they would break down crying, or they'd be like, whoa, or, I don't know. People could tell that that I was in some kind of I don't know how to describe it. I had a boss at the time. I was in a corporate job, You would never think that it could happen. Everybody thinks that you have to be a monk on a mountaintop or something to experience this kind of state. But I had a very, very busy, very full of pressure corporate job as a community relations director of a retirement living industry, in the retirement living industry. And for any of you who have that job, how stressful it is. How stressful it is. You work your ass off, and it's so hard, and there's so many details to juggle, and there's so much to do, and you're working weekends and late nights, and I mean it's a hard job. You wouldn't think that, but it is very high pressure, very high stress job. So but yet I went into this enlightened state at that time through partially through reading Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. So if you haven't read that for a while, you might want to take it out right now. This might be your reminder. So, gosh, I feel like a lot of people are really thirsty right now, thirsty for knowledge, thirsty for the new earth, like all of it. Like, okay, so basically, when I was in that state, I could manifest very easily and quickly, and everything was really easy, really, really easy. My job became like, I didn't even have to think about anything anymore. It was just incredible. I would just be like, might be a good idea to fill these rooms with residents. And then all of a sudden, all these people would pour through the door, and they'd be like, Amy, we've been to you before. We trust you. You have integrity. Wherever you say we should go, I'm going to go there. And even if I would refer them to another community, they would prefer to be at my community just because I was there, so that meant a lot to me. So I've always been somebody who kind of prided myself on being somebody that people would, I would give it to them straight no matter what, even if I felt like another community would be better, I would tell them that, I can tell people bad news. And because I want people to know that the truth. I've always been like all about the truth. So now I got an angel coming in. Some kind of, yeah. She's saying that there's an aspect of me that's some kind of an angel of justice or something. I'm getting the idea of Haniel. Oh, is that? Oh, yeah, that's who you are. She's Haniel. Thank you. Okay, so thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, So I've always been this way, but I was probably in the 5D for, I think it was like around 6 months. So, and I remember that my boss brought me in his office one time, and he just he shook his head, and he just said, I don't know what you're doing or how you're doing it, but please keep it up. And could you make everybody be like you? And I just laughed. I could be completely at peace when, a fight would break out and everything. It was very peaceful. It was very blissful. And I don't even know how to describe it, except that it was the most incredible experience of my life. And I know I've talked to other people who've been through that state before or been in it. And when you come out of it, you get really depressed because you just want it back so bad. It's like, I just want to be enlightened again, or I just want to be, in that state again, or whatever. So, and I went, years. That's why I learned Qigong, is to try to boost my chi to get there again. Or I was scrambling for years until I finally gave up and said, it'll happen if it happens. And when I gave up, it happened again. So I think I've probably woken up that way about 3 times in my life. The first time was the longest. And then the other 2, what happens is if your head gets in the way and you think to yourself, well, I can't do this and pay my rent, or how am I going to relate to people anymore? Or what if I lose my best friend because I'm not relatable, or whatever it is, that you thinking and worrying about whatever it is knocks you out of that state, which is why the Lucy's have been programming us for a long time not to be present in the moment. Because if you go to enlighten, by their mechanism that they developed in us with the ego, is we get caught in a trap because we overthink and we worry, and it keeps us stuck in the 3D, right? It keeps us from rising. In order to be able to rise, there has to be a certain degree of surrender and complete trust in God, because you're just like, okay, take me. And it's like God takes you over and you become like the walking will of God. They just said you're the walking will of God. So you do and say everything that God wants you to, and you're no longer like a personality saying, hey, I'm Amy. It's more like you're just a being that's exuding love everywhere to everyone and impacting thousands of lives around you, because that energy just radiates out and affects everything and everyone. And colors were different too. They were very iridescent. I mean, not when I say very iridescent, it wasn't like everything was rainbow colors, but it was just, there was a depth to it too. It was really weird. And if you can just, I don't even know how, like, if you could, okay. I'm going to do some light language right now, and I'm going to try to give you a taste or a feel of the type of peace and bliss that I was walking in, okay, every day. And it occurred to me, this is the way we're supposed to be, the human beings. This is how we were made to be. This is how God made us in his image, and made us to be his little, for us to be his vessels. Isn't it funny that they use that in the Bible? That we're his vessels. But, all right. So I'm going to do a blessing right now to hopefully project this feeling to you guys so you can understand and feel like why it's worth it. Because you just don't get it until or unless you feel it. If you've seen the movie Limitless, it's just like that, but you don't have to take a drug. It's just you're holding hands with God is kind of the way I see it. And you take the back seat and God takes you over, and everything that you do and say is of God. Okay. So Shishana Pamamahana Taikela Sansehela Anai Hamamana Kela Shinchela Mamana Takela Natai Shishina Mama Kena Hala Ake Impeenchenza Sisi He I Holohoma Ama Ake Kena Katai Hala Sasi She I Ma'an Taike Ela Assassin Shikina Tai oh Napalm Shishi La Kirina Tapumum Hamaan. Okay. All right. And so back to the question. So I would even forget. I had somebody ask me if I have any family, or like, do you have any brothers or sisters or a dad or mom? And I had completely forgot that I did. I was so present in the moment. And that's not a bad thing, you guys, because and I talked about this in I think it's Great Awakening number 19, that talked about consciousness, and the 5D and whatnot. And it's like, we get so caught up in these personalities and these stories that we're living. We get, this is my son, my daughter, and it's very ego. We don't realize it. It's like, well, as long as my family is okay, everybody else can starve and everybody else can blah, blah, blah. So it becomes very possessive, and in this other state, you're one with everything. So there's like a certain, you're so peaceful in the present moment that it doesn't really matter if anything else exists. Things drift in and things drift out, and it's just not a big deal. So what I'm saying, when you're gonna go to this new earth, which we're gonna explore in just a minute, when this new earth thing happens, basically, you are not going to have a concern about the kids, the animals, or any of that. If they are meant to be with you, they will come with you, okay? If you have a husband or a wife that you've left behind, you will not be agonizing like you do now in the 3D world. That the only reason that you think that you would be doing that is because you're completely 3D right now. That's the only reason. If you were in the 5D, you would never ask that question. You wouldn't even care. You would just know that you're completely, totally taken care of. And you are, and you will. And when you're there, you're not going to have a care in the world. You're going to be so high on life that you're not even going to, it's like you could remember, but you would remember them fondly. It's almost as if you're incapable of feeling anything bad anymore, because the bad feelings and the suffering is our ego anyway. If you remove the ego, there is no suffering. So imagine all suffering lifting off of you, all suffering in any way. And there you go. There's your picture. Whether your husband's there or not, whether your kids are there or your dogs are there or your cats are there or whatever's there anymore, there's no suffering in it. So either you're completely at peace and you know that you've left your husband and it's okay, and you're with your animals and you're with your best friend, and you may even be with a deceased loved one again. You may be all reunited. You're going to be happy, happier than you've ever been in your entire life. Thank you. That was Nala confirming that. Thank you. Appreciated the timing of that. So don't worry. And I know that's okay. Try to meditate on it or something, or maybe go back and listen to the blissing that I just did and try to just get the feel for it. Try to acclimate yourself to that idea. We're much too attached to that which we have, our personality, our clothing, our image, there's just nothing's actually ours. We just happen to be this expression. We just happen to be this fingernail, of God. So the more you can get over it being, they call it over identification with the ego, is what that is. If you read the book, and it's very, very long, but if you can read and comprehend the book, I Am That by Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, you'll get it. You'll get it. That is one of the most profoundly, I don't know, like that book is like the book of life. If you can get it, if you can comprehend it. So try, if you have that book or whatever, it's just, that's a powerful book. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so Jason Q has said that, next question, sorry. Jason Q has said that we're going to time jump into when New Earth was pristine at the beginning. Pristine is a really good word for what I saw. And time jumping sounds absolutely right on. When I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I saw. And as I said in the last video, I will give you bits and pieces that may not be the full puzzle. Nobody has the full complete puzzle, you guys. Don't be looking for somebody who's got the full puzzle. God wouldn't be doing that. He wouldn't just like, here's one person who has all the answers. He's not going to do that. It's not going to do that. Consciousness is not going to do that. So not until you're enlightened. When you're enlightened, it's like you have all knowledge. It's amazing. It's you just know and you trust and everything. You'll never have another care or worry in the world when you're in. It's not even we're going to another state or anything. It is your natural state. It's who you are when you take all the bullshit off. It really is who you truly are. It's an illusion that we're these people. It's really crazy. Oh my gosh, you guys. Anyway, okay, so let me feel into this too, though. I want to look back into that last question a little bit too. Sorry to confuse the timestamper. All right, so going back to the other one, are some parents going to bring their children with them to this new earth? Yes. Are some of them going to leave their children behind? Yes. Are some of them going to be able to bring their animals? Yes. Are some of them going to leave their animals behind? Yes. Are some of them, it's going to be on a, is it true though, that when they go to the new earth, they won't care? Yes. So however this works out, they're not going to be suffering? Are they going to be suffering? No, not at all. Okay. There. Okay. We've confirmed it. With the Jason Q thing, with the time jump, I mean, I feel like it's obvious. Yeah, I get a big yes. So, yeah. So, I mean, is it possible that we're going to do like a group time jump? Yes. Are we going to do a time jump based on our frequency? Yes. Okay. So not everybody's going to time jump. Am I right? Yes. So only those of a certain frequency are going to be able to go jump this timeline and go into the new earth. Yes. Forgiveness. They just said forgiveness is going to be key. Are you someone who can forgive? Wow. And stop judging, they just said. Because it make so much sense, you guys. They're not going to bring everybody and have them still in the mindset that they were. Oh, I miss my husband. Oh, I can't believe I came here. But if you're still in that 3D mindset, you're not going to do well with that pristine, beautiful earth that we're going to be handed. You have to be like an earth steward. You have to be coming from that place of love. You have to be willing to ascend and to be in that Christ consciousness in this new earth, because you guys are going to inherit the earth. The meek shall inherit the earth. Are you meek? You might want to look that up and find out what that means. Are you meek? Do some study on that. Because if you're meek and you care about others and you care about the earth and you care about animals, and you've dropped judgment to the best of your ability, and you've been really cultivating that healing within you, you're going to be starting life essentially all over again with 1,000 years of peace. Is that possibly going to be happening? Is it possible? Now, I hate saying times because we can jump totally different timelines and all kinds of things. And whenever people lean into it and they think, oh, it's going to happen this date, and they sit for and wait for it, and when all that happens, it pushes the timeline out a lot of times. So not always, but a lot of times, especially when you're dealing with the collective energy. So I'm going to ask the question because somebody asked it here. And because I'm curious too. And so we'll just see if is it possible that we are going to jump to this, we're going to time jump to the new pristine earth. We're just going to call it a new earth, but I guess it would be like back when it was created, it would be new then, right? So we're going back to the creation of the earth, like when it was brand spanking new. And we're not talking dinosaurs and stuff. There's not going to be any threats. Everything gets along in this new earth, because I just predicted that in the Great Awakening, right? Which also, yeah, anyway, I'm not even going to go there. So where was I going with this? Okay, so let me just feel into it for a minute. I totally lost my thought. That was crazy. Okay, I guess I'm not supposed to go there yet, because what the thought that I had was, when we go to the new earth, that might be like, remember how I've been saying that people will rise from the dead or come back to life? It could very well. Oh, that's what I was going to say, is that if people are too much in the 3D world, we're just going to create more of what we've done already. Are we going to have our mind control erased and the brainwashing erased when we go to this, when we do the time jump? Yes. I almost feel like you're jumping through the time and it's like erasing as you're jumping through. Yes. I just got a yes on that. So that when we say that people are going to be rising from the dead or coming back and these miracles will be happening, is that going to be in the new earth? Yes. Are they going to see miracles in the old earth? No. So we're in the old earth. We're in the old earth. So we are the future of the new earth that we're going back to. Back to the future. No, we'd be going back to the past. But this is craziness. So people rising from the dead are actually people who've died that have jumped timelines into the new earth. And they're going to be there when we get there. And they've ascended. Those that are of that vibration, yes. Those who've died and they are in that vibration automatically went to that new earth. Oh, so that's why when I've been tuning into them, they're in this incredible space and they've been telling me about it. Oh, it's so beautiful here and oh, blah, blah, blah. They're already in the new earth. Are there people who've passed away, like our relatives and stuff, who've passed away that were of that really great vibration that are waiting for us in the old new earth that we're talking about here, time jumping back to the past, but when the earth was new? Is that where our deceased loved ones have gone? Some of them. Yes. Whoa. Oh my gosh, you guys. I never know what I'm going to find out in these things. Okay, so the next question is, will we be on the earth or another one when we transition into the fourth density, then the fifth? I think we're already in the fourth. I think that's why we're battling our worst fears and our demons right now. I could be wrong. I don't have all the answers, guys. Is it true that we're in the fourth density? We have, yes. They just said yes. Okay. So we have all the dimensions here. We have all the densities here. But when we go to this, we're just going to time jump. We're just going to time jump. So we'll be on the same earth. And it's just going to be a totally different timeline. Yeah. Okay. So the next question. From your animals and nature talk, is it possible the dogs and cats are guardians, souls from Sirius star system, pretending to be small pets when they are higher dimensional beings, felines and canines, being your guardians in this 3D world? Absolutely. Absolutely. Makes perfect sense. Now, I haven't felt into it, but when I read that, I was like, hell yeah, of course. Like I said, I have a little piece of the puzzle. You have a little piece of a puzzle. This person has a little piece of the puzzle. That person has a little piece of a puzzle. Nobody's got all the answers. Nobody's pretending to be the all-knowing one, okay? So I appreciate you offering that up, because here's the thing. The guy that I was talking to that in that talk that I told you about, he was from Sirius and I'm from Sirius. So how funny is that? So when you said that, I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. And I also had a best friend who was a cat who, when she passed away, she became a Sirius being. And I remember going, I liked you more as a cat. She was laughing. Well, you were all cute and cuddly with fur and everything. Now you're some, woman cat thing. I love you though, but it's just, you were cuter as my cat. So all of that makes perfect sense with what you're saying here. And I don't know there's probably dogs and cats from all kinds of different places. I don't know why they would all be from Sirius, but is it true? Let's just say, is it true that most or a lot of dogs and cats are from the Sirius star system? Yes. Are there dogs and cats from other star systems? Yes. Could it be, or is it true that they are actually guardians pretending to be small pets who are actually higher dimensional beings that are like kind of protecting us and looking out for us and watching us in some little bubble above us and whatnot? Yes. Now, I didn't say it was a bad thing. I didn't even imply that it was a bad thing. It was just very interesting and very like, whoa, what the heck is that? And yeah, they're collecting data and all of it. And if you right now watching this get a whole other hit on it, you're right too. There's nobody right and there's nobody wrong right now, guys. So drop the ego. All right. Next question. I don't understand when you say our animals have already ascended. Then how are they here with us on the third dimension? I think I kind of answered that already. That when I was in that higher dimension, I was still here. I was very much here. And I was still running the show. I was still the director of this place. I was still, calling people back and following up, but everything out of my mouth was just pure God. So basically, God was calling the person saying, would you still like to have your parents stay here? Actually, I didn't even have to do that. I just remember just people coming in and just needing my assistance and being like, okay, which room would you want to put me in? Because I trust you and I want my parents here, you know? And I'd be like, okay, here you go. Now, these were really expensive rooms, you know, so no excuses for those of you who are like, well, but that's a retirement center and and it only costs such and such a month. They were like, I don't know, $10,000 and $20,000 rooms sometimes. They were very, very expensive rooms. That's one room for somebody's parents. It's insane what they charge. But oh, they were selling like hotcakes. I'm serious. Like in just a matter of days, all the rooms were filled, and there was probably like 10 or 15 rooms. It was unbelievable. And just because I was in that higher consciousness state, and everything manifested rapidly like that. So the fact that we are rapidly manifesting now at this time, and even I am detecting a change in my speech right now. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. Maybe those of you who've watched me for a long time are feeling it or seeing it or something or noticing it. I'm of a higher consciousness right now. I can tell. It's an interesting feeling. It's a really interesting. It's a really good feeling. And if you're thinking, well, I'm not there. That's not how I'm feeling right now. You'll get there. I'm a leader, so I go through it first. I go through the pain and the sorrow and the suffering first too, unfortunately, but fortunately. And now I'm here to show you that this is what you're about to go through too. So don't get discouraged and don't compare yourself with other people, okay? All right. And I'm about to do a video, and I laugh because I have so many videos to get done today. It's unreal. But I'm going to do a video on kind of like redoing the Divine Guidance Council and how to listen to your intuition, because it's so important right now. Okay. Next question. I wonder if people coming back from the dead are actually then, yeah, that they've time jumped. So I skipped that question. I already answered that one. Okay, next question. Will third density souls go to another Earth in third density, or how will that work? Well, that's a good question. Stay here. I just got stay here. They'll stay here in this timeline. In this timeline. What's gonna happen to these 3D people? I am seeing a recycling. Maybe they'll continue the reincarnation cycle, and they will, whereas we're going to be like just living a really, really long time, like hundreds, thousands of years even, because everything is pristine and perfect the way that it should be, whereas this is all completely polluted, diluted, and messed up. You know, but okay, so they'll keep dying and recycling and coming back through to learn lessons, and they are just going to, are they going to, oh, they're going to go until they evolve to where we're at. So they're going to keep going through like a simulation is what it feels like. Hey, no, thank you. Who was that? Somebody decided they were going to scratch the couch, which is not okay. Okay, so yeah, so that, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. It's like they're in an earth school where they're just like, it's exactly like school. And if you fail the grade, you have to go through it again and again and again and again and again. Who was that? What was that movie where that guy kept going to school? So is that what it's going to be like? Like they're going to be just recycling through until they get to it's like everything has to be in a particular dimension to go back, to time jump to the new earth. Is it possible? Okay, so when the 3D people who remain here on the earth, this old earth, are they, I see a lot of like destruction and stuff. It's like they're going to be almost broken down until they surrender. Broken down until they surrender. So in this, when they get to a certain vibration, when they've let go or surrendered enough and they get to a higher vibration through surrender, is this going to bring them, or are they going to maybe even reunite with us in the new earth? I mean, going back to the old timeline of the pristine, let's just call it the pristine earth. Are the 3D people, when they get to a certain vibration, a certain vibrational level that's higher, are they going to go to the pristine earth? Yeah. Will the okay, so then people who go back, who are going now, possibly June 15th, are they going June 15th? Are there a lot of people going to the pristine earth on June 6th, 15th ish? Yes. So the people that go to the new earth, are they going to notice when their loved ones now, are they going to even recognize? I just got no. They're not going to recognize. Are some of them going to recognize their loved ones from this time period when they go back to the pristine earth? Some, they said wise ones, some like shamans and stuff, like yeah, some that are how will that work? So there are different levels of the 5D too. Once we get to the pristine earth, there's going to be different levels still there, but it's still like a dramatic removing of the ego, like many layers of the ego being missing. So interesting. So it feels like the super intuitive ones, like the shaman superheroes over there, I guess they'll notice. They'll be able to say, hey, this is your uncle from back when. Um, that's so weird. But I do feel like a lot of the trauma and abuse in our lives is just going to be completely removed and gone. You won't have any memory of it. So it'd be weird because it's like you meet your somebody who abused you and they're going to show up and you're going to see them, and but you won't have any memory of the abuse. Is this right? Is that possible that they recognize the person? Will they even know that any time has passed? Yes. Will they even have aged? Yes. Yes. So it's possible that somebody could show up. This is so trippy. Okay, so we could be in the pristine earth and we're minding our own business. We go for 20 years and we're living and thriving and doing our wonderful stuff. Maybe even we're going to get younger bodies and stuff like that. So we may not be the same age. They said not everyone's going to get a new body, but some will when they jump through, I guess. Okay, so they just did something really funny. They showed me like this portal and you jumping through it and having this transformation happens as you're jumping through it. And they said, wish, 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 wisha. So you're going to jump through the wish, wish, wisha. And then you're going to be over there. And then you may or may not recognize the person because the person will probably have aged. So I guess they'll show up older, I would think, if you age regress. Is everyone going to age regress? No. Are a lot of people going to age regress? Yes. It's our consciousness will decide, I guess, if we want to do an age regression at all. Or maybe some people feel really good being the age that they are and they're still going to live hundreds of years past that age. They said exactly. So exactly what? I don't know if I'm figuring anything out right now, except more and more questions. So they said it's all possible. All of it. It's all possible. So don't get hung up on the details, I guess. Don't get hung up on the details and don't worry about it. It's gonna be happy, it's gonna be great. So all those people from in the 3D, I guess we still call them sleepers a bit. Are the sleepers going to stay? Those who stay asleep for a while, are they going to? You see, even if they die, they get recycled because they have to learn their lesson. Am I right? Yeah, they have to learn their lesson. However long that takes, until they get to a certain vibration, and then they're out of there. So. Will they become keen to that? Will they kind of like start realizing that they're in this thing and that all the rest of us have disappeared, all the good people are gone, and that they're like kind of looking around in this competitive energy and this crazy like fighting and all this crazy stuff? Yes. Will they realize that the ticket is to let go and to ascend? Yeah. Yeah. So they're going to keep having to choose, do I choose fear or do I choose love, over and over and over and over and over and over and over till they finally figure out love, 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 love. Okay, bloop, they're gone. Okay. That's interesting. And, who knows what anybody else is picking up on intuitively, and if it's complementary to what I'm getting or if it's completely opposite. I don't know. This is just my intuition and what I'm getting, but it's interesting. And years ago, guys, this would have created so much anxiety for me. Like I wouldn't fathom it. I'd be very doubtful. I'd be scared, all that kind of stuff. But knowing what I know now, and having been enlightened before, I'm like, bring it on. I'm so excited. Like, get me out of here. This is nonsense where we're in right now. I want out. So it's going to be so awesome to go. I'm just so looking forward to everything in this pristine earth, and to see what that's going to be like and how we'll live and everything. It's just going to be amazing. Okay. Okay. So two more questions. Well, one of the questions has a couple questions. Okay, so the next question is, I get confused about 5D and no money or investments will be needed there. So why do we even worry about buying silver or crypto? Because there's going to be a transition time. If we don't disappear June 15th, I guess, then we're going to go through a period of, they just said, rebuilding, like giving a chance to those 3D sleepers to have like a second chance. So these humanitarians who are making these projects, is it actually going to be happening in the pristine earth? Okay, so it's like, oh, this is so weird. Is it going to be happening in the 3D world as well? Yes, it's going to be happening in both worlds. So will we know when we've gotten into the pristine earth? Yes. Will we know if we've been left behind? Yeah, we'll have a feeling of it. Not left behind. They just said not left behind, and it's all in levels and layers. So just keep remembering, it'll come back around, So what's the significance of June 15th? That's when it feels like Yeshua is like gathering up his kind of his initial tribe or something. Huh. Okay, so those, yeah. So we have two things going forward. We've got the 3D Earth that continues, that we're on right now, and the pristine Earth. The humanitarian, do they look similar? It feels like the pristine Earth is more like Tartaria, like we were hearing about Tartaria. And it feels like here is more about restoration and rebuilding and destroying the old structures and, changing everything for the better. So both are going to be being improved. Both are going to be being improved. So either way that it goes, there's going to be improvements. Okay. Either way it goes, there's going to be, it's just either way you go also, it's just higher and higher consciousness. But that one's going to be, going to the pristine earth would be easier in a way because you're just going back to your natural self. And that's where you wouldn't need any money or anything, or crypto or silver. And obviously you wouldn't be taking that with you because you can't. You're just going to bloop through the time jump. So I guess you would need the gold and silver and crypto if you're going to be in the 3D earth. So, you don't know which one you're doing. You're not God. So you don't know whether you're going to go back to the pristine earth or you're staying here to help rebuild. So why wouldn't you get the gold and crypto? So it's like you're, oh wow. So the gold and crypto and all that kind of stuff, you're like rebuilding and replenishing you. And part of it is we never needed this in the first place. See how wrong the banking system is. You could have all had millions of dollars. You're all worth millions of dollars. You should have had this all along. They were holding it back from you. So enjoy and go through this and the other thing. And all these it's all helping us have these realizations and everything, and it's going to become more community oriented and trading and exchanging and all that kind of wonderful stuff. Whereas it kind of feels like in the pristine earth there, I mean, it's a similar vibe, but I feel like there's also, are there some Tartarian type civilizations that are already established or getting established there? Yes. Will we be able to find them when we go to this earth? Yes. So it's like, I don't know. It will be all right. Either way, are we on any kind of destruction timeline? I gotta know. Are we, so and all the nefarious nonsense that was gonna happen, like, oh yeah, some people are getting confused with you will have this amount of money and be happy. It's like that's a COMM, you know what I mean? That's not the same thing, you guys. Having millions of dollars, being able to do whatever you want and do these humanitarian projects and all these inspirational things, that is not COMM, okay? That was when they were going to like trap us in these little, they were going to have us in these little apartments and we could never even leave. We all had the same amount of everything. We all have like everything all divvied up and we can never leave our home except between these hours. I mean, no, that's not what we're talking about. Oh, it is confusing times. If you can stay out of fear, you can stay clear, okay? Just always keep that in mind. Stop spinning out. Stop spinning out on the fear stuff. You got to stop yourself and go into your heart space and feel into it like I'm doing from a heartfelt space. And just talk to people, friends of like minds, get friends of like mind, so that you guys can boost each other's faith and watch these videos over and over if you need to, or whatever you need to do. But don't be spinning out and making up stories to scare yourself to death. Do Byron Katie's work. Oh my gosh, I say that all the time and you guys ignore it. It's so funny. It'll save your butt. It'll save your mind. It might even take you over to the other time jump if you want to be there. So, it just feels nurturing, loving, and supportive, whatever it is, wherever we're going to go, however this is going to roll out. It feels very benevolent. It feels very beneficial, that type of feel. Okay. Is it a trap to keep us in the 3D? Oh, the crypt silver and crypt. No, it's ouch. That hurt my heart. Like when something makes your heart hurt like that, don't believe it for a minute because it's not true. It's not even aligned with who you are and with God. So don't even throw that kind of stuff out. I also know, well, I mean, it's good to be wise. It is good to be wise and to be like, am I coming into a trap? But you would know that if you're practicing your intuition, as you go here or go there or whatever, you'll be, but it really does feel like a beneficial time we're coming into here. I also know of people living in cars and struggling so much right now. So will the solar flash help us at all? Yes. Will the solar flash actually happen? Yes. Then there's new Earth, old Earth evacuation of humans and spaceships. Are spaceships going to be involved in this? Yes. I feel like this is already a spaceship. So we're going to go, I guess, jump through time to another Earth spaceship. So weird. Oh, I get so confused every day. I'll have to just stop listening and go within. Exactly. Problem is my within is very hard to hear. That's why you got to quiet all that. The Byron Katie's work will do that. If you learn how to do her work, her self-inquiry process, it will work if you do it right. And I will teach you for free on Telegram. I'm always offering that up. Okay, so I think that okay, so I just so you guys know, I did a round table that's going to come out really soon. So, or maybe it's just already come out by the time this gets out. So just watch that because there's like four of us that they kind of go through and feel out what we think is going to happen coming up here. But I didn't feel into all this yet when I made that video. Okay, so one last thing. Someone sent me these crazy pictures and videos of these like pulsating. I'm going to show you here right now. These pulsating videos or pulsating like vortex, it looks like. Um, and initially when I looked at it, I was like, whoa, that looks like kind of a vortex or a portal that you would jump through time, and land on the other side, like a plasma, like, entry point or exit point or whatever. And then when I felt into it, I was like, is that like a time portal or something like that? And I kind of got kind of like, you're not quite hitting it. And then I thought, well, maybe it's a weather manipulation. You can actually see the weather manipulation. It's like a laser. So you can't see it with your naked eye. You can only see it when you're taking the picture or taking the video. Isn't that crazy? So I was so fascinated by this. And I'm like, what the heck is this? So let's ask some questions about that right now. Get to the bottom of this. Um, so is it a good thing or a bad thing? It's good. It's good. It's friendly. They just said it's friendly. Consciousness. Okay. So there's consciousness involved in it. So does this have to do with like the new quantum field? Quantum field. I'm getting quantum. Why is it only in Florida is what I wonder. Oh, because Tampa has some kind of, what do they have? Some kind of a program there where they're kind of experimenting with this sort of thing. Does this have to do with our new like quantum system that's coming? It's part of it. Is it gosh, what the heck? Ashishina pempemo umaan halaki insan seshina. Hapoma, is it giving energy? Is it giving beneficial energy to people? Yes, healing energy. Shishina hapompoma, is it connected with everything and everyone? Yes. Is it only in Florida? No. It's in other places and they haven't discovered it yet? Yes. Mountains and more like places that you wouldn't know it. Oceans. I see oceans being affected. I feel like some of this energy is like going out into the oceans, like it's benefiting the fish and the whales and things, it's bringing balance to things. It's healing. Um, is there a name for it? Is there kind of like I'm trying to look at like what it's doing, like the impact that it's making. It just feels like it's almost like taking the world from black and white to color again. It feels like it's righting the wrongs almost. Um, are they going to be placed all over the world? Yes. Are they going to be something that we can actually see with our eyes later? Yes. Is it going to get bigger than it is right now? Yes. So this is just like we're seeing just the start of it. Yes. Will it be something that we'll see kind of taking over the whole sky? Yes. Interesting. So you mean it's going to start small and it's going to get bigger? Yes. And it's beneficial and it's healing. Oh, is this replacing the firmament? Is this going to be replacing the firmament? Maybe it's going to be our new sky. Yes. Is this true? Is it just the opening? I wonder if it's gotten bigger. Has it gotten bigger than it was? Yes. It's expanding. Huh. Is this true that this is going to be our new sky and it's just opening up? Like, is it even maybe a crack in the firmament? No, it's not a crack in the firmament. It is the new energy that's replacing the sky, though. Yes. An ace is a yes, and they're saying, don't worry. So it's a transformation. It's a transition. And yes, charging forward into a new harmonious time, going to the next level of harmony and relationships, like coexisting with each other in a beautiful way. Oh my gosh. Happy families and fulfillment. Jeez, even abundance. So yeah, everything balancing out slowly. They're going to do it nice and easy and slow as secrets are revealed, perhaps. And as our intuition, they're going to feel into our consciousness level and what we can handle, I guess. The end of a difficult period, a bright future, healing and as part of our, okay, that's awesome. Should we be talking to it or anything? Like, should we encourage it? Yeah, you could. I just got stellar, something stellar. Maybe it's part of the stellar system. I don't know. There's like stellar crypto or something involved with stellar. Is it? It's something we could act with. Yeah. It's a stellar something. Well, I have no idea what that thing is. Somebody else might have a name for it. I don't know. But so it's like it kind of looks like there's like a big vastness of it, and it's poking through right now our atmosphere. So that's what you're seeing is like a little hole of it. But eventually, when the firmament is gone, it's like this will be what our sky looks like. How interesting. Huh. Okay. Anything else that I should know about that? Okay, now they're having me talk to her. Feels feminine. She says she's being very careful and very gentle how she is supporting us. She's even like neutralizing the toxins in chemtrails and stuff, or any of the residue from that. She goes, there's nothing to fear in it, nothing to fear. It's almost going to look like sunset in the sky. You know, that sky is going to look like sunset a little bit. Is there going to be any blue in the sky anymore? Blue is going to be going away, I think. So it's going to be like a pinkish sky. Yeah, like sunset-y. Oh, that'd be pretty. We just don't know anything anymore, do we? It's just so crazy. It's so crazy. Our world is completely malleable right now. It's just like I was talking to Honey earlier. I was like, oh my gosh, like I just feel like everything is totally liquid and bendable and moldable and shapeable and malleable right now. Like there's nothing I could say that's like solid. So I don't know, guys. Just drop the fear. And I'm gonna get some spirit cards here to just get some advice from it. Yeah, let me get these first, and then we're going to do Mary Magdalene. It's best to ask what others want to as well and strive to collaborate. This may include a pet, partner, child group, or work. Someone else has an opinion in this that should be considered. So we need to be considerate of others and think about others right now as well. You're not getting that apology or that thing that you think they owe you. So stop giving your power away. You give yourself what you need or the words that you need to heal, not them. So forgiveness being key again. A setback is just a chance to regroup and get creative. You might even come up with a better plan as a result. Embrace the opportunity and try to see this through new eyes. Yeah, it's an opportunity to recreate ourselves. We're creating our future right now. If you were someone else, what would you think of your life? So it's time to really assess that. Take a good look at what needs dumping. Love and appreciate your body and your circumstances just as they are. So radical acceptance. Change comes through radical acceptance. We're doing all we can to comfort and encourage you through this time. You're very important to us and we love you. If you knew the beautiful things ahead for you, you would trust where all this is going. We got you. Okay, so Mary Magdalene. The prophet. The prophet. Oh wow. All unfolds in perfect time. And all you need to know is revealed at the most perfect moment. Be patient and trust, for angelic forces are at work in your life right now. Holy crap. Feel the presence of the goddess within you. Ask her to clear your mind so that you may hear her guidance within your heart. The goddess speaks through feelings that stir within you. Feel her pull your heartstrings as she bathes you in her healing light. You will receive a sudden inspiration when you least expect it, and this will lead to a most positive outcome. Be prepared for a pleasant surprise. Thank you, Mary. That's great. Whatever's up ahead, it's going to be good, you guys. So just ignore all the other stuff. You got nothing to be afraid of. Yeah, well, look at that. A brand new beginning. Look at that. A new inspired, passionate start. A brand new beginning. Healing. Taking a leap of faith. Healing. Even things coming out from hiding. Things coming out from hiding, having epiphanies and awarenesses and realizing you're worth this, and, embracing your dreams come true. Your dreams are coming true. Your dreams are coming true. So, let's see what this is. Yeah, look at that. Like they're throwing out the lies and the cabal. There's going to be a major flip. So have faith. It's all coming together, and we're going to be building rapport, community, trust. New love is coming together. True love is coming together with an apology, and they're coming grounded and they're coming balanced. And then something shocking and inspirational happens. So just roll with it, guys. Just roll with it. You have no choice. You may as well not suffer through it. Just surrender. And you'll be very pleasantly surprised. You'll be really, really, really glad where all this is going. So sending you guys a big, big hug, and I'll be putting out a love video as well, a collective divine masculine report. And then I guess I'll see you or talk to you in a few weeks, couple weeks. All right. Bye.